Today we're going to go over how to protect your fruit from birds. First thing we're going to cover is how to protect your strawberries inside of containers. I like to put mine inside of a large trough. You can pick these up pretty easily from any hardware store. I have a lot of problems with rabbits and birds helping themselves to the strawberries, so I like to use netting to address this issue. So here you'll see I have laid out netting across in container. This makes it easier to tie both ends. We're now going to lay out the net and simply tie a knot at both ends. It's a pretty simple process and it'll keep the birds out, and it's pretty easy to pop off to harvest berries, then pop back on. So that's how I protect my strawberries. Next thing we're going to cover is we're going to go ahead and cover raspberries. The first thing you need to do with raspberries is you need to trim all the tops to be even. They're going to keep growing throughout the season, but they'll pull and break the netting if you don't give them a good trim up. I like to make them all nice and even across the top, and then you're just simply going to stretch and anchor the netting. I use zip ties to attach them to support wires on the side that I use to keep the raspberries all upright so they don't tip over. You don't need to worry about covering the entire raspberry plant. You really just need it to be a deterrent. They'll fly under there, a few of them, but they won't really get at the main parts because of the thorns of the raspberries. So if you just make sure that you covered the very tops of them and about an inch or two down the sides, and then anchor them to the side wires that I have. You could certainly tie them off at the post, or you could get a wider net, and you could net the whole thing. It won't harm it, but it will make it more difficult to harvest the raspberries later. That sums it up. It's relatively easy. Bird netting is cheap, about $7 for 30 feet. You can try to save it season to season. I don't typically do that just because it will kind of get tore up as you're removing it. Thank you for watching. Check out our other videos and head over to our site for more in-depth articles.